We had a lot of them.
Call to order the city council meeting at 5:30. Roll call. Council at large Boots.
Here.
At large Spear. Council Ward number 1 Leaper.
Here.
Ward number 2 Anderson.
Here.
And Ward number 3 McNeil. All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To the agenda, are there any additions to the agenda? Seeing that there are none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Mr. Anderson with the first,
A second.
and Boots with the second.
Yeah. Boots?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear? Leaper?
Yes.
All right, so the agenda has been approved. Now we'll move down to the communications. There's actually a couple scheduled ones. And Mr. Reeve with Tedco, you're up first. If you wouldn't mind making your way to the podium.
Thank you. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jim Reeve. I'm president of the Tipton Economic Development Corporation. As part of our, we do have some loans with the city of Tipton. As part of our loan covenants, we are to give the council an update on state of the union, I guess, of the Tipton Economic Development Corporation. So basically, I sent Lorna some information to include in your packet. Is everybody familiar with Tipton and what it is? Yeah, you give an update or... Okay. So I'll move on assuming you are. The first items on there I sent is to review the financials. There should be in your packet the financial statements, the balance sheet and income statement through June 30th of 2016. Our organization is on a fiscal year from July 1st to June 30th. So if you look at the balance sheet, and I put it as a comparable balance sheet and income statement, you can kind of see where we stand as of June 30th as compared to the year before. Of course, you've got your basic bank accounts, and those are pretty self-explanatory. The property is the land south of town, on the east side of Highway 38. And basically, this is all at cost basis, what we paid for the land, and also the property improvements that we paid for through June 30th, and there's some depreciation coming off that. We do have two liabilities, a loan with the city of Tipton, and I think I included in your packet kind of the detail on that way back from the inception in May of 2000, kind of the activity on that to come down to what the current balance is today. And we do have a contract with the Lamb Brothers on remaining 42 acres of $357,820. So it gives us total liabilities of $940,633, total assets of $1,157,372, retained earnings of roughly about $216,739. As you can see on the profit and loss statement, this past fiscal year, we were truly a nonprofit organization. Basically, our revenues come from membership dues. We have roughly, I would say, almost 75 to 80 members that pay membership to our organization. And then we also rent out the farm ground that we have. It is tillable ground, so we rent it each year to a farmer who pays us rent in March and in September. So those are our sources of income. Unfortunately, we didn't have any lot sales this last year, so those are basically all we had for income. We do get a little, if you look on the second page of profit and loss statement, we do get a little interest income off of the money market account we have at the bank, but of course rates aren't that great right now, so that's very minimal. And then you look down under our expenses, most of it's self-explanatory. The development director rent, that's our share of Linda's office that we pay for our rent. Our insurance is our liability insurance, and then probably the liability insurance on the farm ground also. The mortgage interest is the mortgage on the contract with the Lamp Brothers. Our marketing, we do belong to the Iowa City Area Development Company in Iowa City, so marketing, part of that is our dues to them. And also, we made a commitment with the city of Tipton a few years ago to make a contribution to their Vision 2030 campaign. I'll go over that a little later. But that's where we post our expenses for that for marketing. The miscellaneous expenses are just odds and ends, postage and delivery. We did get some office rebates from Staples. That's why the office supplies is showing as a negative amount this fiscal year. The professional fees, the accounting we are a nonprofit organization, so we have to file a tax return every year, Form 990. That's for the preparation of that. The legal fees are basically to renew our contract on the lease ground every year, plus any other legal things that come up that's handled for that. Other professional fees, I think that had to do with some consulting that we had for the UNI Institute of Decision Making coming in. Of course, our property taxes on the land, and then we had some telephone expense and some travel meeting expenses this past year. And the reason that went up so much is we basically partly contributed to Linda going to a school this last year down in Kansas City. So that's basically where the profit and loss statement stands and the balance sheet. Any questions on that from anybody before we move forward? Basically, there's been really no new sales since November of 2013. I did include kind of a property analysis so you can kind of see what's been purchased so far to date and what's been sold, and how we come up kind of with the price per acre for our developed and undeveloped ground. When people contact us or ask us kind of what the price of a lot is out there, a lot of it depends on where it's located, whether it's on the east side of the industrial park or closer to Highway 38. The prices kind of vary. I usually say anywhere from $15,000 to $35,000 depending on where the location is. We did put up a new sign. I don't know if anybody's noticed so far at night if you go out south of town. We do have a sign identifying our industrial park. We really didn't have anything out there. And I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, Branstad was coming through and had a little gathering out of Vermeer, and somebody said they wanted to know where it was, and we said it in the industrial park, and they didn't know where it was at. So we thought, well, maybe it's a good idea for us to put up a sign out there, not only advertising for the businesses out there, but also identifying where our industrial park is. The total cost of that come to around $21,000, and most of that was paid this last fiscal year. And then each of the businesses contributed back $100 per year for their sign tiles up there for advertising. The only other item I kind of want to discuss, I guess, is the loan balance that we currently have with the city. As you see, the loan balance as of June 30th is $582,813. Under the loan agreement right now, according to the loan agreement, we have a line of credit up to $875,000. This was extended for another 10 years back in 2010, so it comes up for renewal again in 2020. So that's kind of where the situation is on that. The farm lease we have on the farm ground, it's an annual lease. We have it renewed annually. We released it this last year for $300 an acre, and we've accepted a bid for 2017 for $275 an acre. And in that agreement, if the farmer does have a crop planted in the field, and we do come in and somebody buys a property, there is in the lease agreement that we'll reimburse the tenant for damages to their crops or for the construction of their crops if the land is sold when the crop is in the field. We do have one business still under a TIF arrangement. that is Vermeer. The sales price out there was $205,000. We sold in 2009. And as part of that sale agreement, we gave them a TIF of $93,000. And basically, that payment comes back every 6 months in a payment from Vermeer, which we turn around. We've already applied that to the city loan balance. If you look in your information, that's already been applied. So when we get those checks back from Vermeer, we just turn around and pay the city back. And according to my calculations, roughly there's about 3 payments remaining, about $9,300, and that would be all settled up. As far as future financial needs of TEDCO, right now at this time there's no immediate financial needs from the city of Tipton. The only thing we may have is our contract with the Lamp Brothers comes up due here on March 31st of 2017. And as you can see, there's a balance of $357,820 on it. We have not been contacted by them yet, but I'm hoping they will work with us and get it extended. The last time it came due and renewed was in March of 2013, and they required a $100,000 payment down on it to renew it. I don't know what the situation is going to be this year, but we may need a request to borrow on our loan with the city for the down payment if that's required. And the last thing is the joint Vision 2030 campaign donation with the city of Tipton. The total donation was $22,500 that we made, splitting it 50-50 between TEDCO and the city of Tipton. So far, each of us have paid $9,000 on that, so there's one final payment of $2,250 due in 2017 from each of us, and then that's all taken care of. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions or anything, comments? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. All right, our next one is Ms. Stepanek, if she's here. All right. Seeing as she isn't, that concludes the scheduled communications, and now we'll move to the. What?
I was going to say maybe we have Steve just walk through Stepanek's issue.
No, I
For
think
the council, because you do have this letter in your packet.
Thank you.
I don't have anything prepared, but I'm pretty good at shooting it. What Mert and Stan Woody have out there south of town in way of storm water issues basically is twofold. The one area between them and the bank has a box culvert that goes under 38, and that has silted in, and there's water backed up in that area. There's also several tile lines that drain into that draw that we fixed a number of years ago. They might need attention again, but I think the major part of that situation is that box culvert that's silted in. I haven't gotten a hold of DOT yet to see what their response is. I assume they will clean that out or dig it out so that it will drain on both sides. It's in the right of way.
Yeah, it's state right away.
Yeah. So that's, I'm going to kind of push that towards the DOT. The other issue that has been an ongoing thing we've been watching when the big building behind them with CDS was put up, the drainage from that roof and that parking lot, most of it goes north into that retention area that was designed for that purpose. As you know, they got a roof and a parking area, and now we've got, I mean, it's just instant runoff. But one downpipe off that roof comes down on the south, it'd be the southwest corner of that building, and comes across their property. That has become a real problem on some of these big rains. It does wash out a couple of areas. My suggestion there would be for us to look at something or somebody needs to look at something in the way of either redirecting that water to the north and to that retention area, or put it underground so it gets to our storm sewer or out to the highway. It is destructive coming across their property, and I think that was probably a little bit of issue that was left on the back burner when things were developed out there. So that's something, and I've talked to Merton, they've been very patient with us and with everybody on this whole issue. We've been kind of talking about it for about 4 years, off and on, but as leadership changes and the council changes and they're too patient with me, we haven't gotten anything done yet. But we did address that draw situation and fixed all their tile down there, even back when Don Drager was on board here. We spent quite a bit of time on that problem. So we think that might be resolved easy. Anyway, it's going to be something that we need to look at. I don't know if we need to have an engineer look at it or get some guidance professionally on that. I suspect that might be the direction.
Start with IDOT and get that cleared out and see what happens from there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if there's an issue with a neighbor drain, then that's something that neighbors should be able to work out. But I think we continue to look at it and do something, start to do some things so we can mediate that.
I would really like for us, well, I'd like the DOT to do that so that we can see what there is left to deal with. So, and it might be, on our part, it might be downstream. They might be able to reduce that silt and get it down to the right level, and we might have issues on down to keep that flowing. So, and I don't know yet who owns that down below us. So, any questions? I don't know if that's kind of a snapshot of the whole thing.
It works.
And Mert could probably add some color to that. But I'm just giving you the basics. So. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Nash. All right, so now we'll move on to the unscheduled communications part where anyone can address the city council from the podium. And also, kind of a reminder, if we do have somebody at the podium, their conversation is with the city council. So it'll be a back and forth between just the council and the person at the podium. And seeing that we have nobody going over there, we'll move on to the consent agenda. These are the items that can be approved with one motion unless separate discussion is needed. And these will be the city council minutes from September 7th, approval of the treasurer and investment report, and also approval of liquor license renewal for the Cedar County VFW for event at the Heartland Sports Complex. Is there any of these that need to be pulled out for separate discussion? Nope. Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Boots with the first, and McNeil with the second.
Boots? Yes. Anderson?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil?
All right, so all those carried. Now we move to the public hearing, which I do believe we need a motion to open the public hearing. Leeper with the first, and Anderson with the second.
Anderson?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil? Boots? Yes.
All right, so it is open at 5:49.
I'll lead off on this. This comes to you as Lynch Excavating, Larry Lynch in particular, made a proposal to the airport board to construct an aircraft hangar on some vacant aircraft ground and paying ground lease payments of $720 a year for a period of 20 years with a 10-year extension. And that comes with a contract requirement to construct a hangar to the specifications approved by the city for his use. And it concludes that at the end of that lease and extension, the land and hangar building, in simple terms, revert to the city's ownership. Given that this is granting the use of ground, of real estate owned by the city for a period of greater than 3 years, there is a state requirement that if there a public hearing be held on the subject, and that a date and time for soliciting and receiving bids so as to resolve the fairness requirement. In simple terms, the fairness requirement that such property be offered to anybody on equivalent terms. And in conversation with the city attorney, he recommends that a minimum bid of 20 cents per square foot, which is the equivalent of $720 a year. Please interrupt me if I've got my math wrong. And that there be an executable contract requiring that bidder to build a hangar as has been proposed and approved by the airport board, and that we establish a time and a place for bid opening. And I proposed bid opening on October 13 with a decision brought to the city council as October 17 meeting. That resolves any potential complaint that someone else who is dying to build a hangar on the airport ground didn't get an opportunity to do so. So that's my understanding of this, and Max Compass, the airport manager's here, Mr. Lynch are here, and I think if council members have any questions for them or me, I'm open to that.
I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay. And this will come up at L, motions for approval L7, where you will okay us to proceed with setting bid date and getting that on motion. So,
I just have a question though. How long will it take to build the hangar once you get approval?
That's kind of, when I initially started this and talking to other communities, I wasn't aware that this would go out for bid, and now we're another 2 weeks into October. I wanted to be in this hangar and occupying it by December 1st. That's not going to happen. In the contract, it states, I think I have within 90 days. I may have kicked that out to like 6 months, and we'll have to take a look at that if I am awarded the opportunity to lease the property.
Yeah.
If we make this work, I've got a person that wants to put a building up. I want to get going on it right away, but we're going to be in mid to late October. We'll just have to see what happens.
Okay. All right. Then is there a motion to close this hearing?
So moved.
Mr. Anderson with the first,
Second.
and Leeper with the second.
Anderson?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil? Booth? Yes.
All right, then the public hearing for that is closed at 5:53. Thank you for coming, Mr. Lynch. You got Mr. Kappas. All right, then going down to I, resolution for approval, which is the residency requirement from 10 to 50 miles away from Tipton. It was tabled at the last meeting, but Councilperson Spear had requested that we keep it tabled until the next meeting. Is there any objection to that?
Yeah, I have.
I mean, sorry, the next meeting.
Because at the last meeting, it said 10 to 20 miles, and now it's changed to 50. Why?
That was my doing, council member. I was looking to address in a very simple, cursory manner the fact that we do have staff who are, not me, who are 50 miles distant. And that is a standard that other cities have established. And this is, again, brought to you for discussion. Any of these things can be changed by the council on the spot. So we brought this to your attention in this fashion. Just to add to that discussion, Amy Lenz brought to my attention today that the bargaining unit contract requires not so much a residency requirement, but that staff who are on call, or stipulated as on call, need to be able to arrive within, I believe it was 30 minutes of notice. That's a reasonable standard and it's fairly widely accepted. And there may be a way to write that into a residency requirement so as to differentiate critical from non-critical staff in that fashion. And when I was looking into this last week, I could not find anything, any model, any language in the state code that allowed us to differentiate critical from non-critical, which is partly why we wanted to put this 50-mile number in here. So I think it's not imprudent at all to table this and have us go back to work and further address it. And I'm here to hear consideration of the council members and the mayor on how you'd like us to proceed.
I'd like to leave it tabled. Personally, I guess I don't have a problem with non-critical employees being a little bit farther out. But the critical ones, 50 miles is way too far. I definitely think the 20 is pretty standard. I mean, that's about the max that I would like to consider.
I'm sorry, how far? 20.
That we had agreed upon before.
That would pretty much include the surrounding towns around Tipton.
A 20-mile radius will get you right at the edge of Iowa City. That way. This way it's getting pretty close into Scott County. 20-mile radius. I can see that. But like an emergency individual, and if they're going to be out 50 miles, they'll be here within 20 minutes
30.
or 30 minutes. Are you going to drive 55 miles an hour?
You'd have to levitate.
I don't think so. Not on these county roads, or even, I mean, if you get on Interstate 80, you can run 55 and you can run 70. But on secondary roads, you're 55 miles an hour. If you're out 50 miles, how long is it going to take you to drive?
Especially in inclement weather.
In inclement weather, it's anytime, whether it's raining or snowing or ice on the roads or what. That's a long way. I think.
How will you begin to differentiate between critical and non-critical?
Probably by referring to language similar to what's in the bargaining unit contract, which says you have to be able, if you're going to be on call, you have to be able to ride within this period of time.
Is that all questions on that, and we're going to leave it tabled?
Yes.
Do we need to have someone actually retable it? I don't remember protocol.
You just don't vote, just leave it tabled.
Leave
You
it
just don't
tabled?
need to
Yeah.
vote.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so that one stays tabled for the next meeting. Go down to the motions for approval, which the first one is the claims list. Are there any items on the claims list that need to be brought out? All right, seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve the claims list?
So moved.
Anderson with the first,
Second.
and Leeper with the second.
Leeper,
Yes.
McNeil, Boots,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
All right, that is approved. The next one is the discussion and consideration of the senior dining donation request, which actually Councilperson Spear requested on this one to be tabled as well, didn't you? Yes.
Yes.
So we just need a motion to table?
Yes.
So moved.
Boots with the first, to table this until the next meeting,
Second.
and Anderson with the second.
McNeil,
Yes.
Boots.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Leeper,
Yes.
All right, so that's tabled until our next meeting. The next one is the garbage exemption request from 521 Cedar Street.
I will attempt to bring this to your attention. Good heavens, we've lost the memo. This is the folks who bought the building, commercial building at 519, 521 North Cedar Street. They are not utilizing that view. They're not generating garbage at that building, and they do meet the standard in the city code, which says that if there is multiple utility billing in the same name and one location does not produce solid waste, upon written request, the council by specific action may exempt the second location from their service fee. You've got their note, their request, where they stipulate that they will not be generating trash for many months, and I see no reason not for you to not consider their request.
Now, is this something when that storefront is completed and they are inhabiting that, then will that generate garbage and we'll pick that back up?
Rather they have to pay a bill.
Exemption.
Yes.
That would only be, wouldn't that be if they're going to not have garbage pickup while they're in the process, but as soon as this is occupied, then they have,
to
but they
pay.
don't have to pay a deposit. Is that correct too?
No, I believe well, they've already
They've already
paid
paid
the
a
deposit.
deposit.
They've already paid a deposit.
Yeah.
We're not
Just-
talking
But
about
for
the
utilities.
deposit.
Yeah.
Just a garbage fee.
So they don't have to
Garbage
pay a
fees
new
would go
deposit to get it started back. Yeah. That's, I just want to make that clear.
I know there was some question the
Never
last
mind.
time. I know there was some question the last time we voted on one of these. I just want to be sure that we're doing these consistent.
I know. It's not always been consistent.
Okay, so does somebody want to make a motion one way or the other? McNeil with first to approve this exemption request,
Second.
and Leeper with the second.
Boots?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil?
All right, then to number 4, relief valve and regulator purchase.
Requesting approval to purchase new regulator valve and relief valve for 911 district station. Get as much life as you can out of them, as long as fail and they're pretty old. There's 2 district stations coming in Tipton, one by Heinz, one in 911. There's 2 regulators each station, one related valve each station. Plan is replace one regulator this year, replace another.
All right. Any questions for Virgil?
Is this in?
We'd be pushing the regulator, but, not with the meters, I'm not gonna put seven.
Did she say? Sorry.
Yes, that's what I asked Virgil if he had it in the budget. He said he has it in regulators and meters funds to cover it.
Excellent.
We're planning for remote metering, but we're not sure where we're going with that, so we had extra money there, so.
Got to keep it up. It's upkeep, right?
Yep, maintenance, routine maintenance.
Maintenance.
All right, is there a motion for approval?
I still move.
Leeper with the first,
I'll second.
and Boots with the second.
Anderson?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil? Boots? Yes.
All right, thank you, Virgil. Now to the K9 5K fun run and 1 mile fun run, fun walk and run. Chief Kepford. Come on up.
Do you have any questions, or do you guys have that paper in front of you? I'm
Yeah,
just
it's in the
requesting
packet.
to be able to, the route that's on there, can use that route as part of the fundraiser. And we'll be setting up in the city park, and it shouldn't take more than 3 hours. For October 8th.
This is the first time you're doing this, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know of a 5K with your dog in this area. I can't find anybody that's done that in this area.
All right.
My dog's legs are only got that long.
That's for the 1 mile, and you can push them in a stroller. Or you don't have to bring it all, you can just walk. Dog is not mandatory.
Right. Did you have it?
Just that we need council approval around to,
Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Boots with the first, and McNeil with the second.
Lieber.
Yes.
McNeil. Boots.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
There you go.
Thanks.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right, the next one, community Christmas tree at City Hall. Ms. Beck?
Good evening. I'm going to be having lots of requests here before long because it's going to be the season for this. But this is one of the requests. Mr. Lieber and I had a very nice discussion about what we as a city could do for individuals in our community. And of course, we both have a soft place in our heart for children. And one of the things that, and I know Mr. Lieber will help me with this, is we would like to collect hats, mittens, scarves for the children, which we would give to Train. And I have already talked to Cheryl Swick, and I have talked to Jill Hesse at the school to see if they would accept this. I thought I would also, and I have not yet, talked to Brad Katz, who is the Rotary president, to see if we could color coordinate coats, hats, and mittens for the kids. And so what I am requesting is in November, the end of November, that we put up a Christmas tree at City Hall in the lobby to start collecting these items, and then I will take full responsibility to make sure that they are distributed.
What date did you say?
I don't have the date
Okay.
yet. It'll be the end of November through Christmas. So,
Thanksgiving weekend, like a
Yeah.
Thanksgiving weekend.
and that weekend we'll have a lot, it'll be Small Business Saturday and the lighting of the community Christmas tree, which I'll be coming back to you about those items. But, and I probably have a spare tree at home that I would be happy to donate and take back home so we wouldn't have to house it at the city as well.
I'm for it.
Because you're gonna help.
So anybody can donate them?
Yes, yes, yes. And I will, there's gonna be so many things that are gonna be going into the utility bills because we got a lot of things coming up, but that is something I would like to also put in the utility bills to let everyone know if they'd like to donate. I can put it on Tipton's Facebook page, and then I can block time off on our website that will collect those. And if someone would like to donate and they don't want to go up to the city, I would be happy to pick it up and take it up and put it on the tree.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Boots with the first,
Second.
and Lieber with the second.
Lieber.
Yes.
McNeil.
Yes.
Boots.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very nice.
No problem. All right, now to the number 7, which is setting specific specifications and bid date for the ground lease of a private hangar out at the airport. Mr. Long?
and as discussed before at the hearing, this would be proposed notice of bid and advertising in the Tipton Conservative at the next opportunity, and then setting a bid opening date for 3:00 p.m. Thursday, October 13th. The decision before this council at its October 17th meeting. And again, it would be the terms that were established by the proposal brought to the airport board last month. So I need your approval to proceed with that.
Need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Boots with the first,
I'll second.
and Anderson with the second.
McNeil. Boots.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Lieber.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. And now to the reports, which is an Alliance Water Resource to Refund Repair. or refund on the repair limit. You wanna talk about that?
I don't as much as what's on the page here, but this is a past practice.
It's an annual thing. If they stay under the repair cap set in the contract,
Okay.
it's refunded back to the city.
Okay. So then they stayed under the,
Yes.
all right, and I'm gonna assume it's covered in their contract, and like you said, it's an annual thing that.
Yes.
Yep, okay.
Receipted and probably already spent.
All right. Is there a motion to approve this report being received and filed? Anderson with the first, and Leeper with the second.
Boots?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil?
Yes.
Okay, so that has been filed, and going down to the reports. My report. I got cut out of a car yesterday out of the airport during a training exercise with the Tipton PD, fire department, paramedics, electric department, and one rowdy reporter. It was interesting and scary and fun all at the same time. All the firemen were in their full gear out on the airport with no trees and not much breeze. But it was really neat to see them all in action and also seeing how it all works. And I hope to never actually have to be on the receiving end of that help. But they all did a great job and we're all professional. And well, other than my passenger who had previously died, we all made it out alive. So job well done. And that's my report. And to the council?
Sounds like the airport was busy this weekend.
Yes.
I had a great opportunity of helping out with the Young Eagles Day on Saturday. Good turnout. I think they flew 42 kids. Had to turn a few away, which was unfortunate, but the time got short and the pilots had other places to be. So very worthwhile program. Very nice.
Thank you. Committee reports. City manager report.
Just to follow up with the observations about yesterday's exercise, I was instructed to be an irritating reporter, and I managed to irritate one of the officers to the point of arresting me, and I haven't been cuffed in a very long time. But it's a noteworthy experience and one I recommend for everyone. Not for real, but
I noticed those two cars, they didn't have no license plates on them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's kosher, is it?
no, probably not. And I think Brad may have a few words to say about that, just briefly. There'll be a follow-on report that came out of that, but I want to acknowledge that there was good discussion by all participants after the event, and I'm very pleased at the general direction of folks and working together and dealing with these kind of incidents. I'm working on a couple of code enforcement issues coming up, and I'll keep you apprised of those things as they come together. That's all I have.
Thank you much. And now to the department heads. Steve?
Yeah, I have one item. I apologize for bringing this to the table tonight, not giving it to everybody last week, but I got an email Friday afternoon at 3:23, and it said we're going to have to do something with our recycling weekly, monthly delivery to Republic Services in Cedar Rapids. Republic bought out City Carton I believe about last October. And that transition from October to the 1st of January, keep in mind that prior to this, a couple of years ago, we were being paid for the stuff we delivered. And then the market declined, and then we were just delivering it. It wasn't costing us anything. It was a free drop. As soon as the Republic took over, it started costing us a little bit, and it was like $17.50 a ton until the 1st of January. I think the 1st of January went up to $25 a ton, and it's steadily increased every month. I think the bill for June was up to $37 a ton. So it was a steady increase for 6 months. And then we get this letter, this email on Friday that says, here's what we'd like to do with a steady increase. We'd like to lock everybody in for a couple of years, and we want to start out at $65 a ton, and then we'll give you some commodity, let me see what the term was here, commodity payback, based on the material that you deliver and how much it's worth when you deliver it. And so they want to start out at $65 a ton, whatever it's worth, they'll knock it back down to a lower tonnage peak. They used, if you have, did everybody get the example, I think?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you had time to look at, I tried to make it brief and to the point, but if you use August delivery, this was actual August delivery from Tipton, it starts out at $65 a ton. They give us a commodity payback of 20-some dollars. It turned into $42.61 a ton. So we have gone from costing nothing a year ago to now $42.61 a ton. We deliver up there somewhere between 4 and 4.5 ton a week, generally. If you look at that last example, Exhibit B, the cost of delivering by their schedule, the cost of the delivery of recycle to their plant, total up there in the right-hand corner, $852.21 for the month of August. If you multiply that by, let's say that's an average, and it's probably a low average, multiply that by 12 months, and you can easily, as this market declines and as the prices increase, the cost of dumping increases, we could be $10,000 to $12,000 a year into delivering recycling material to Cedar Rapids. Way beyond our, nothing we can do about it, no, beyond our control. I did investigate another option today, Scott County Recycle, which currently has implemented a plan where they delivered, I don't know how they fund all this down there, but it's a big metropolis area compared to us, but they have Bettendorf and Davenport and a lot of people. And I talked to a woman down there today who put me in touch with the guy that heads up the whole thing, the contracts and everything, and he hasn't gotten back to me yet. But I said, would you be interested in us bringing it that direction? She goes, oh, absolutely. I don't know anything about the contracts and what it costs. I'm still waiting for that to come back. I checked the mileage and the travel time. It's about a toss-up. It's faster to go, it's 40 miles and 41 minutes that way. It's 39.5 miles and 48 minutes that way. So it's basically a toss-up. It's might be a little nice to run down interstate because it's on the north side of Davenport, near Eastern Avenue, off of Grady Street and right there. Anyway, that's where we're at on this, and I wanted to get this to you folks as soon as possible tonight because Republic Services, they want this contract signed by the 1st of October or we pull it off the table. Unless we need this, so like Tim said, this is nothing like putting a gun to your head. But
What do we pay for garbage?
Tim, that's a great question because we penciled this today. We sat down there and did some rough penciling. It is not too much different than what we pay for garbage when you consider the travel time and the cost. We can only get, we pay out there, they charge us for 20 cubic yards when we dump. Our truck holds 23 cubic yards. They're at $15 a yard, so every time we dump a truckload out there, it's $300. The way this is set up, every time we dump a truckload at this price, and it's going to continue to climb, it's going to be 200 and something, plus, a little over 200 I think, plus we think it costs about $100 to drive up to Cedar Rapids and back with that truck and equipment and labor for the driver. So we're getting close to, It's garbage. It'd be cheap. And then the other question, I haven't found out yet if we're required. Now, this is, I hate if the press is here tonight on this one. Stu, don't listen to that. But, we run the risk, I think, if we've been a recycling community for 16, 17 years, to my knowledge, and Lauren can probably, it was implemented way before me. It may even been back in 95 or 96, when there was a curb sorter here, and all the stuff went to Anamosa, and I think it was probably mid-90s.
Yes,
And so, and it's been a great thing for the community, and it's the right thing to do, but the price of them, of the operation, and keeping in mind, and I said this before in front of this group, it costs us just as much to run that recycling route in town as it does to run the garbage route. We can go faster, because not everybody recycles every week like the garbage does, but we catch about everything. Hey, the other thing I almost forgot, this is something that you really need to understand and know, because I didn't know it until today. This contract is only, let me get the exact wording here. Please note that this proposed contract is specific to residential single stream that originates exclusively from households. That would eliminate some of the places we pick up recycling right now. The Cedar County Courthouse, Law Enforcement Center, the schools, and the post office, and we do have one commercial account with assisted living. Yes, but they pay us. All these entities pay us to do that, but with this new proposed contract, they're only looking for household exclusively, nothing more than that. So how does that play into our big picture here? I want you as a council to know that that's part of this proposed agreement that we received. So that's kind of key. Any questions? I think that's basically what we're dealing with, and I'll know more when I talk to the gentleman from Scott County Recycling.
Steve, we are requiring to keep a certain percentage out of the transportation anyway, right? So we can't put it all back in the garbage.
No, I think that's right. I know, I don't know the details on that, and somebody can probably straighten me out. I'm sure a lot of people will straighten me out, but I know that cardboard baler went in down below. That we had to have that when they put the transfer station in, because they did not want cardboard. They would not take cardboard out of the transfer station. So I knew that was part of that agreement. Beyond that, I don't know. And I haven't had time today to find out all the answers.
Don't sound like they give you much time.
Well, they got you, yeah, they really pushing that envelope there a little bit. But they did say in that email that I got, if you needed extra time beyond the end of September, to let them know, and they would consider that, and Republic said that. So, and I haven't gotten back to them yet.
Middle of October.
Yeah, we don't have another meeting until October.
Well, that's going to be my point,
Yeah.
Mayor, that we are going to say, hey, the council needs time to think about this, and we just got this, and now you're wanting, we don't even have another council meeting until sometime first.
I suggest we push that off till the end of October. Because this is a big, this affects a whole lot.
It's a lot of money. It's $10,000 to $12,000, and it's not budgeted. I mean, we budgeted a little bit, but not that. Like $2,000 or $3,000, I think, because that's what it was costing. Anyway, I will. Here's what I'll do. Then I'll get more details, and we'll get the information. You'll get the information that I get way ahead of the next council meeting, before the council packet, so you'll have time to think and talk about that. So, any other
This is
questions?
just for residential single stream. What's going to happen with commercial? You have to do something else with it, or stop doing that?
I'm guessing they would say, no, you have to stop doing that. which would certainly affect, you know, the school system, and Cedar County, operations at the courthouse and law enforcement center. Because we could pick up a lot out at the law enforcement center. You know, in fact, I think there's several containers out there. They feed a lot of people out there. There's cans, there's paper, it's just like, yeah. And maybe that's acceptable to them. I don't know. So, it's kind of residential out there. Any other questions?
Yeah, I do. What's your gut feeling right now about it? If you can get the information from Quad City.
You know, I got a good feeling from talking to the two people that I talked to today down in Quad Cities.
Okay.
And they seem to be, they're not a commercial operation like, I don't believe, like
Scott County.
Yeah, Scott County's not like Republic Services. They're more like us. You know, they're serving our
a big conglomerate.
yeah. So I have a good feeling about how that might turn out. I won't know for a day or two probably.
When you know, let him know. He can let us know.
You all know.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nash.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Brad, come on up.
Well, Tim already highlighted the, him getting arrested at our recent event, but I do have photos of it. I think that was actually the best part of the whole thing in my book. So here yesterday, and I'll be brief about this, we did conduct a simulated exercise where we had two vehicles that collided. We had multiple injuries, multiple fatalities, and we really had an opportunity to assess our teams and see how they work with one another, what type of gaps that we have right now, and how we can make improvements on those. I'll keep it really short and say that we'll be providing an after-action review of that analysis to you guys at an upcoming council meeting once our team has time to convene. From there, we will set objectives and goals for where we want to go in the next year, and address training issues in order to reduce those gap size. Really what I'd like to focus on though is in the little time I've been here, I can say without question that the volunteers in Tipton are just top notch. One of the things that I look for in volunteers and for staff is not how smart they are, but how willing they are to learn and how well they play well with each other. And it was very evident that these guys came out on their day off, they put in hours and hours, and they did a fantastic job. And ironically, even after they were overheated and tired, they said, hey, what can we do better? How can we improve? And they've continued to talk about it. And one thing I've heard from all of them is we want to do it again. We want to continue doing things like that. So I hope that you guys continue to push for these exercises. And with that, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
One more quick, unrelated to what I was talking about before. Just for council's information, Eldon has gotten all 3 certifications now with water, wastewater, and distribution. So I'm tickled I told him he's achieved something I never have and never will. So
And I don't want to bring that up other than, I'm a little bit further down than that, but we're compliant with DNR regulations that way.
Okay.
Good job, Ellen.
We're required to have a backup operator, grade 1 certified operator, with water wastewater.
All right, thank you. Floyd?
Well, Tim and I made another trip to Geneseo last Thursday, was it? Yep, and I took the initiative to contact Eric Paulson with, now the name of the company slips my mind.
CBS, I think.
CBS Ltd. Limited, something like that. For us to look at going out and buying wholesale power on the open market ourselves instead of going through our PGI. Just sitting there in that conversation we had, we figured what was it, between $70,000 and $100,000 we would have saved this last year if we would have done it ourselves. Plus, there's other things that there's benefits to this. So I've got to get some more information for him. He emailed me today about one thing, and that's one thing I didn't have an answer for, so I have to wait for ITC to get back to me on that. The engine's kind of at a crawl right at the moment. Actera was supposed to be here Friday, but something happened in the corporate organization, and the gentleman who was in charge of our project is no longer with the company. I don't know if he left or what, but there's a big shakeup going on over there right now. So I talked to the guy who's going to be taking over the project, and he assured me that somebody should be here no later than Wednesday of this week. So that hopefully will get everything back rolling again. On the 26th of this month, we will be generating electricity for the town. My employees will be at work at 5:30 in the morning, depending on who they are. And we will start generating so that they can lift the stack and put it into place back there in the back. So when everybody gets up in the morning, don't drink any water, don't turn on the lights, let's keep the load as low as possible. So at any rate, but we should have enough generation to cover everything. We'll run probably the 2 CPs and the 2 MCUs. So a little bit of an update on the MTU situation. After we talked with the Iowa DNR, we are not going to open up their permits. We're going to leave the permits as they are, which is 1,000 hours per engine for the MTUs. If we do run over 500 hours, the Iowa DNR can request us to do a stack test, which I want to forego that because that will end up costing us $30,000 to $45,000. If I push the issue with the permits and getting it all under one big umbrella, they want the stack testing done. And that burden should have been borne or bore by the manufacturer of the engine. But since the certificate of compliance got revoked, they say that they're no longer responsible, and the attorneys have all circled the wagons. So, shy of getting into a class action lawsuit, which I really have no desire to do, I think we're just going to let it go at this point in time and see what happens. But if we do get to run up to 500 hours sometime, we're going to be forced to stack test anyway. So, a couple of projects going on around town. Randy and Mawson building some new buildings out there at a storage place. And seems like somebody else is going to be doing something too. I think the co-op is, but I haven't heard a word from them yet officially. So, yeah, we got we got the building all cleaned up pretty good, didn't we, Linda? So, bring your wallets. Friday, is it?
Friday.
Friday, yeah, you'll be taking them home. So.
Thank you.
We can-
Do you want to get that? Do you want to go back to the city manager report?
on the Legion building?
Yeah, sure. One last thing for Mr. Long.
The last thing is that today, a whole bunch of us department heads and all met at the former Legion building under the close and severe direction of Linda Beck. And we hauled things out that weren't saleable and dumpstered them and organized things that are saleable so that on Friday, there will be it'll be an ad in the paper, but on Friday there'll be a sale of the remaining office equipment and some other odds and ends, which is open to the public, and that will pretty much clear out that building. And just related to that, today I made contact with, on reference from Garden Associates Engineering, our civil engineer, put me in connection with a architectural firm out of Marion that does, has done a great deal of work with refurbishing older public buildings. And we've got a preliminary visit with an architect set for a week from tomorrow to do a walkthrough and provide some kind of assessment and sort of back of the envelope determination of cost to refurbish that building and make it into a usable space. So we should have something back to you at the first meeting in October. But the building looks a lot better cleaned out. It is a sound building. Overall, it's straight, it's dry, and I think that it has potential for your consideration to imagine this as some usable office space. And that debate will go on, and we'll give you all the information we can so you can make a well-founded determination. And that's all I have.
All right. There, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Anderson with the first. And McNeil with the second.
Anderson?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil? Boots?
Yes.
All right, this meeting is adjourned at 6:36.